Hello everyone, welcome back to League Racing in OBF1. We're finally on the F122 game. They finally fixed the issues, so that means we can go racing. I'm joined with Marcus, whose phone you can hear go off in the background.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's on silent. It's all good. Evening, everyone.
So, F122 League Racing is finally here, Marcus.
Oh, it certainly is. I cannot tell you how excited I am.
And we've also, on our little app that does the standings, we got some new features.
Oh, have we now?
We
Go on then.
have.
Talk me through these new features. I can't
So
wait to hear about them.
they've got a new interface, so the whole app just looks better. We can now, like you got these little third-party telemetry apps you can get, so you can get all like your revs, your tire wear and stuff on your phone.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, they're really good, those are.
we can use that feature to get the race results straight from the thing and change it depending on how the stewards choose to influence the racing, which decisions they make, whether they give someone a 5-second time penalty, 10.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nice. That sounds like some really good features. I can't wait to try those out. That's going to really bring up the new seasons on the new game. There's a lot of exciting things to look forward to, I think.
There is, and well, we got these new features. We got the immersive pit stop, which I know is not limited to immersive. Drivers can actually choose whether they want broadcast or immersive this season as well. I think carry on.
No, I was just going to say that's good. It keeps it open then, because gives people the choice what they want to do, really.
Yeah, I know one of them is locked to immersive. I can't remember if it's the safety car or uh, or the formation lap. It's one of them.
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's the safety car, if I remember rightly, because yeah, there has been a few issues with the AI pitting you in the safety car on broadcast. And we've always tried as a league to not allow people to go AI under the safety car. We always say you've got to be in control of your car for as much of the race as possible, which really, I think is fair, really.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, missing from the lobby.
We're missing CDM from the lobby, and hello to everyone that has already said hello in chat. I'm not ignoring you, I promise.
Both are. Only pit stop is not immersive.
Right, only pit stop is not immersive. Right, got it. So it's pit stop is the one you could change, safety car is locked to immersive, and formation lap is locked to immersive.
Yes, that makes sense. That's an interesting one, isn't it? I want to talk about that, the immersive formation lap, because obviously, I know a lot of leagues do run formation laps, but we as a league haven't run the formation lap. We go straight into it, straight into the action. But this year, obviously, with the new immersive formation laps, we decided to change that, haven't we, Kieran?
That's true. Well, we can't say we have never used the league. Back in F1 2020, we did have formation laps for a period, and then obviously in good old Codemasters fashion there was a bug to do with the formation laps. We had to remove it, and we didn't actually really go back to it because we didn't see a point, because it didn't really affect your start as much as it does on this game.
Not particularly, no. It's quite good just to build up the tension a little bit as well. And I think now that you get to drive your own car into that grid slot, it adds so much more to the race.
It does, and
that's really good.
you've really got to get your tyre warm up right now as well. There's like no mistake in that.
Yes, this is a big thing on this game, isn't it? Tyre warm up, because the tyres reflect real life so much better than they did in last year's game. So the hard compound tyres are very, very good tyres, but the warm up is really, really difficult. So the undercut isn't always the best option. On previous games, it was very OP, undercut all the way, and you can just make them last forever. But this game, undercut doesn't work. I think I did a practice league race the other night, and I undercut some people, and I lost about 7 or 8 seconds to them. However, on that first lap that they came out, when they tried overcutting me, they came out about 8 seconds ahead of me, but I caught them right up again in that lap. The cold tyres are so difficult to drive on.
Yeah, that's going to be a major factor. I want to see how that plays out in the rain as well, because it's difficult to get your tyres in the right temperature as it is in the rain. But with this new tyre model and the new tyre sizes, it's difficult to get temperature in them. It's going to be a lot harder in the rain.
Absolutely. And also watch out this year, the top 10 do not need to start on the tyre that they qualified on.
No,
that's a big difference as well.
That will definitely shake up the starting grid. Some people won't have the advantage of probably starting on softs because they don't last that long anymore either.
Well, absolutely. So everyone in the field starts on brand new tyres, but everyone has free choice. So if you may have qualified on pole on soft tyres, but you can start on hards if you want.
That is true. I think it's a lot more difficult to predict races now. I think they've really nailed down the tyres on this game.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, we're very early into this game's life cycle, still ironing out a few bugs and flaws. But on the whole, my impression of this game is that it's much more in tune with real life. It's much more challenging, but on the side of that, it's much more rewarding. So when you get it right, and even if you don't get it right, but when you get to the end of the race, it feels so much more satisfying.
100%. And we have our first couple of cars going out on track now. Who's the first one out? Looks like it's James, who finished second in the championship last season. Was it James? Right, season 4.
I have no idea. I need to go back and have a look, to be honest. I was only in and out for comms here and there, wasn't I? Because of my availability. But I'm here tonight, and that Aston Martin is looking beautiful, might I add.
I think it looks a lot better than it did last year. It hasn't got a stupid pink stripe on it.
Absolutely. See, this is the livery that I was expecting Aston Martin to come out with. It's the livery they use in their Le Mans cars. And just that yellowy green accent to the green is just, for me, is beautiful.
I think it's what makes Aston Martin cars look the part on track.
Yes.
Obviously, they got their unique designs, and maybe their unique design isn't paying off this season so far, but the car does look great.
No, but if you look at the statistics, they are the team that has pulled out the most ground from where they started at the beginning.
That is true.
Of the season. It looks like we have a spinner already, which is Mosh in the first sector. Come out of the pits, and this is what we were talking about. Cold tyres, even on softs, the warm-up, very difficult.
Jim has said in chat, here's Marcus having an orgasm over the Aston.
Well, I do have a confession to make. So far in this game's life cycle, I have accumulated a total of 4 warnings for collisions with the safety car.
Are you serious?
Which hands down, I'm not actually joking. Not joking in any way, shape, or form. I actually have 4 warnings for collisions with the safety car.
Which safety car was it?
It was mostly the Aston Martin. You'd be very surprised to hear.
For some reason, I'm not actually that surprised.
Don't know what you're trying to say there. Should we get back to the action?
Face with tears of joy.
Yeah, we can if you want.
Tears of joy. Emoji face with tears of joy.
Right, so who do we? So we have a Red Bull crossing the line. Well, he's not crossing the line. He's in sector 3. I think James is still the first to set a time, isn't he?
Absolutely, he's just coming into sector 3 now. So this track's a bit of an interesting one because you do need a lot of downforce around some of the corners, and there is quite a few like slow, medium speed corners. But there's so many straights that you can gain so much time with low downforce.
That is true. As James crosses the line with a 1:30.57, it's not a bad time to start off qualifying. Neil, his former teammate down in P3, Mank, sets the fastest time so far with a 1:30.5.
Very close.
So it's looking like a close. We got Kenna with a 1:29.7.
Well, it was close.
Kenna had to go and ruin how close it was so far.
Certainly
Pistol.
was. Fantastic lap by Kenna, though.
Pistol putting that Red Bull in P2 at the minute with a 1:30.4. As I say that, Kenna's teammate. How would you even pronounce that?
Jay Seddon, I
Jay
guess.
Seddon.
Yeah, please do tell us if you're listening along to the stream, or even if you're watching it back afterwards. Please let us know how you pronounce your name. If we're pronouncing it wrong, do tell us.
So we got Mosh spinning around in sector 2. We got
And we also have
Snitz,
Snitsy out.
who has crashed into the barrier just at the start of sector 3, just after the sharp right-hand turn. After turns 12, or is it turn 12? I think it's turn 12.
I have absolutely no idea.
So
I can't count beyond 3, so.
Don't be too hard on yourself, man. At least you're not Welsh. I can't count to 10 on a shag sheet.
That is true. Although I did grow up looking at Wales every single day, so that's probably worse than being Welsh.
You probably lost a few brain cells in that case. Just looking at Wales.
As we see, not pretty much everyone set a lap. Obviously, we've got 11 drivers set a lap out of 15. We've got Snitsy out, as we already discussed. Hawkeye was on a lap there, but he's bailed out by the looks of it. And this is another thing as well, because obviously you don't need to start on the tyres you qualified on, so it doesn't matter about tyre wear. You could set a lap on 20 lap old tyres if you want. I don't think you got time to get 20 laps in, but you know.
I don't even think you can get these softs 20 laps.
No, true. The point stands. You can set it. You could set it on your second lap or your third lap, but and here's the other thing: ERS this year's game drains like no tomorrow, so it's quite difficult or virtually impossible to do 2 flying laps on the bounce. You need to do 1 lap, and then you need to do like a recovery lap where you turn the ERS off.
Yeah, I
just
think
to save it.
I think they've made that a little bit more realistic as well, the ERS. Because in real life, they haven't got much battery power. And some drivers have said they've just got enough, only just for 1 lap in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it so much more crucial when you do use it. Especially because it is so overpowered in this game. I think they're probably going to patch that at some point, I would have thought, because your ERS is worth so much lap time when you put it on.
Yeah, that is true. Also, I know sometimes you get drivers disconnecting, so that AI takes control. The AI on this game, in a straight line, their straight line speed's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this.
I think I was doing some practice yesterday, and I got my AI set to 103. So it's probably about 2 clicks lower while I get used to the game than it was last game.
Yeah.
And the straight line speed is ridiculous. You can't keep up, especially when they got DRS and ERS.
No, we got an Alphatari spinning or out, maybe. That King James, yeah, spun at the last corner.
That's another thing I want to talk about. Damage, front wing damage. You can still race with that front wing missing.
Yes, that is true, because most of your downforce comes from the underbody of the car, doesn't it?
Yeah, so obviously now you got them Venturi tunnels creating ground effect, which means over the top of the car, downforce isn't as much needed as it was last year.
And over to technical corner with MR-C-REES.
Dun-dun. I know a little bit about downforce, but you know, I'm no expert in it.
Yeah, I know how it works and the very basics of it. I did learn it when I did motorsport in college, believe it or not, because they literally were useless. But I can't remember any of the technical terms or that, and I really don't know it to an advanced level. But
yeah, I was a big fan of planes, and that's how I learnt about aerodynamics and downforce and
always
drag.
been my dream to become a pilot, you know.
It was mine, but I didn't get the GCSEs.
No, I think the problem is it costs so much.
Oh yeah, it's £120,000 for basic training.
Crazy.
Unless you join the Air Force, and
this is the thing. But there we go. Maybe one day. Love to be a helicopter pilot, but
nah, they're death traps, man.
It could be worth watching James Noah because he's just at a purple middle sector.
And he has gone top of the timing sheets.
Yeah, he certainly has. And it definitely looked like, I would say, I need to check race director with the sector times, but he seems to be very quick in sector 2, so maybe he's running a bit more downforce than other people. 7. Yeah, he's about 2/10 quicker than Kenner in the middle sector. Same, yeah, Hawk Pie setting similar as Kenner.
He's probably
James now running a lot more downforce. I would suggest.
That is where the majority of corners are in braking zones.
Absolutely, which is very powerful in qualifying because you've obviously got your use of your DRS. So having that extra downforce is less of a penalty.
James goes for a little spin, got himself caught on the curb, which is another talking point.
He certainly did, yes, exactly. But yeah, obviously it's less of a penalty higher wings because you got the DRS open constantly. But when it comes to the race, all of a sudden you don't necessarily. So that higher downforce will make you a sitting duck on the straights.
Yeah, that's why I've gone for quite a relatively low downforce setup for today because we got 3 main straights really. We've got the main straight, we've got the one just after turn 3, and then we got the last one in sector 3, and we've got the DRS straight in sector 2 as well.
Yeah.
So I think my setup's more majority for the straight line speed because you're going to be slow in the corners, but it's going to be hard for another car to get past in the corners as well.
Yes, true.
So I think you probably got turns 1 through 3 gets quite tight, so it's quite difficult to make a pass. Turns 4, that's probably one of the major overtaking spots tonight. Turn 10, you can.
I would say so. I think this new game is so much more challenging, especially if you don't run any assists. Like, it's much harder to get on the power, especially like your traction. So I think it's going to open it up a bit more to mistakes and therefore open up more opportunities of overtaking. Whereas again, like real life, dirty air isn't a factor as much, so to follow closer to the car in front is a lot easier.
That's true. But also, you still do get affected. I've noticed you do get affected by the dirty air slightly, but it's definitely nowhere near as much as last year.
No, absolutely. They have seemed to replicate that again very, very well. They seem to be trying to step in the direction of making it more realistic for those hardcore sim racers. But they are still keeping their toe in the water when it comes to keeping the game open for everyone.
That is, I think they're doing a good job, obviously.
Yes, I agree. I think they've made a really good step this year in that sense.
I think once they've ironed out all the bugs and stuff later on, it'll be a pretty decent game.
Yes, I think the handling model, I think they've done a really nice job on. The tyre model as well. I think they've done really well personally. It does feel a lot nicer. A lot more realistic, a lot more challenging.
That is true. One thing I am disappointed is with though is the immersive pit stops. I was expecting like maybe drive into the actual pit stop.
Yeah, I've been quite vocal about that, and I think the fact that they've called it immersive is just taking the mick, because there's nothing immersive about that. It's pressing one button. There was more immersive pit stop back in F1 Championship Edition back in 2006. I used to play on my PlayStation 2.
I remember that game. That was such a great game. I had it for the PS3.
Exactly. Do you remember you used to have to press the button for like to attach the fuel hose, and then each tyre?
Yeah, I think it was
yeah.
4 X's for the tyre. I think it was square or circle for the fuel hose.
Yeah, I obviously used to play it on controller back then, but I'd love to try and do that pit stop on a wheel, because that would be rather difficult.
That would be challenging.
It would, but yeah, I much prefer the immersive pit stops where you drive in. They did it with the formation lap where you drive into your grid slot, and I don't think it would have been too difficult to do something similar for the pit stops as well. And I must say I'm rather disappointed that they haven't. What they've done, I think, is a Mickey take, and I'd have rather them just not even bother.
Yeah, because it's literally just a one button press and it turns in for you.
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. You've got to press it about a second before you get there anyway, otherwise you miss it.
Yeah, and it's extreme. I think it's way too easy to get it perfect in the pit stops.
Yes. And also I found the other night, it confuses the game because it times your pit stop based on what you press, but actually your actual time that you spend in the pit stop may be different. So there was the other night where I followed my teammate in, and I got a perfect 2.2 pit stop, but they had left the pit box as I got there, but my mechanics were being a bit slow, and I was sat there for about 8 seconds, and they timed the pit stop at 2.2 seconds just because I got the turn in perfect. And even Jeff or Mark or whatever his name is said that's a perfect pit stop, that's quicker than we were expecting, and it took 8 seconds. It's like, well, it didn't really, did it?
Yeah. One thing I'm quite interested about is Ahmed Shaban. He hasn't actually set a lap time yet. He's just been sat in the pits.
Yes, he hasn't been out, has he?
So I don't know if he's just waiting for like the last couple of minutes or.
Do we have a rule about having to set a?
No, if you don't want to set a lap time, you don't have to. But I think the only rule we have is if you're not going to set a lap time, don't park the car in a stupid place that could cause someone else trouble.
Yes, that is true.
But most of the midfield battle looks like it's going to be a really close one. They're all in the 130s. So I think it's from Pete down to Mosh, all in the 130s.
Yeah, it is a very very close grid.
It's going to be interesting to see how that actually pans out in the race, especially when it comes to the pit stops. We're probably might see a few people spinning.
We certainly might. It's gonna be a race of attrition. I think stay in the race, and you could be on for good points. As we see, 10 seconds now on the clock. So pretty much once his Red Bull crosses the line, that's it. There we go. Anyone not on a lap now, you can bin your qualifying goodbye.
Which Red Bull was it? Was it Mosh? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see, but
yeah, it was Mosh.
James has just gone purple in the first sector. Kenna will be the first to cross the line of the runners. And he does go pole. That's a very good lap.
I think that's quicker than that is quicker than my time trial.
King James has slotted into second. So James has it all to do now. Hawkpie is up to fourth.
Obviously, Hawkpie made his return on the last couple of races. He reserved last season. He hasn't raced with us for quite a while before then.
This is going to be close. James is 4 tenths up by the looks of it. Let's see where it puts him. Can he beat Kenna? Oh
He
my
can.
goodness, how close is that?
That is what you want to see.
Wow. That is 3 thousandths of a second split in James and Kenna. James just snatched that at the last second.
I think we got Pistol just crossed the line. He keeps himself in P7. Mank still to cross the line. He's currently down on his time as he comes across the line. He's aborted the lap by the looks of it.
Yeah, and Moshe looks like he's going slowly as well, I would say.
Yeah, he's
So
on the
I think that is
137.
it.
So that is it for qualifying at round 1 at Bahrain. For OBF1's Tier 2 Championship, your starting lineup is James Ney and Kenner on the front row, followed by King James in P3, Hawkpie P4, Invader P5, Genserino P6, Pistol Racing P7, Team Red P8, Jacidion P9, Always Grinding. He's new to the league as well, making his debut tonight in P10. Mank Red Devil in P11. Mosh P12. Ahmed Chaban's in P14. I missed the rest. Neil Moza is P13. And Snitsy, who hasn't set a lap time because he DNF'd, is sitting in P15. Any incidents?
I did not see anything. No, nothing particularly.
Just a few warnings for speeding in the pit lane and that, so nothing too major.
Absolutely. Well, that was an interesting qualifying.
That was a lot closer than I was expecting it to be as well.
It's going to be an almighty battle up front. And in the midfield, for that matter.
I tell you what, it's one you probably don't want to miss.
Too right, that is. It's going to be a good one. Anything can happen. And these races are very long. You know, it's like I said, it's so challenging. Anything can happen. It's just going to be a case of trying to keep going, trying to stay as a part of the race, you know, not crash out, because it's going to be very easy to crash out.
That is true.
So to confirm, we will have immersive pit and formation lap yet.
Marshall, to confirm, we will have immersive pit stops and formation laps. That is correct.
Good luck, chaps.
El Shakal has just said good luck to all of the Tier 2 drivers and reserves. It's going to be...
Best of luck to everyone. Let's have a nice clean opening race.
So this is normally where we'd be saying lights out, and we're away, but we're not, because it's the formation lap, so it's all a matter of who can warm their tyres up the best at the minute. So we got a few drivers. I think it's everyone starting on the so we got a few drivers actually opting for the soft tyres. So Ahmed Shaban has been disqualified from the session. It's a bit strange. Do you know what that was about?
I did not see, I'm afraid. Not that he's the only one. Normally, if you make contact with somebody else, unless he's... Well, did he move? Did he get off the line? Because we haven't actually seen him do any driving, so whether he's away from his PlayStation or something, I don't know.
There's nothing in the race director about incidents with him. But if he isn't there, then that's, well, it's very strange. James and Ken are really getting ahead of everyone, trying to warm these tyres up. What would you suggest is probably the best way to warm your tyres?
Spin.
Apart from spinning.
Understeer. In all honesty, yeah. With no traction control, it's a bit easier because you can just chuck it in third or fourth and light the rears up. And that warms your rears, and then the fronts you want to go about second or third gear and then just turn left to right very hard so you're scrubbing the tyres across the tarmac, and that'll warm them up, but obviously it will get the highest tyre wear.
That is true. Personally, I like to light the brakes up, get them really hot, and then wiggle about because the temperature of the
that's the other thing. Yeah, keeping the brakes warm as well. But I'll tell you what, should we have a quick look at tyres while they're all forming on the grid?
We can. We've got
2 on softs.
That is the surprising choice. So they're going to be going on a 2-stop strategy by the look of it. A lot of people not getting the hang of this immersive pit stop by the looks of it. They're all not getting the correct position.
Yes, there is a lot of reset people out there. I think pretty much everyone. You got the Alpine always grinding's in pretty well. So Zahas the J7. King James is in. Kenna's in. But it looks like James Snell got reset as well. So this is going to make things interesting.
What is interesting as well is everyone's lined up, but we still haven't got the green lights.
Yeah, we are still waiting.
Is this going to be a red flag situation?
Hopefully the race director will be with us. Maybe the race director's gone to sleep as well. Who knows? There is a marshal at the back waving a green flag, so we are all good to go.
I think we might have to restart.
Yes, I think we may have to. I keep getting the predicted pit stop strategy come up on my screen. I don't know about you. That's about the 3rd time it's come up.
Start as we need to go on, boys.
I reckon everyone's tyres are going to be a bit cold now.
Oh, guaranteed. Right, I'll give it till past.
It is past.
It's 29. It's 29. And then we'll check the red flag gif.
While we're looking, let's talk liveries. Car liveries. What's your favourite livery of 2022?
Mine's got to be that McLaren. 100%.
I could not agree with you more. It looks... I think they've done a stunning job on it. Having said that, the Williams and the Alpine... I think are also very, very nice looking cars. And with real life on the Williams, I think the more paint they've taken off and the more black carbon underneath that they've exposed, the better the car looks.
That is true.
I mean, the Haas isn't bad, but let's be honest, it's just a make do and mend, isn't it? Because it wasn't their original livery. It wasn't a proper design. It was a last minute thing. As it looks like. Oh, have you left? Are we calling a red flag then?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling a red flag. As while you call the red flag, the race does get underway, and we have about 10 cars that have crashed into each other. Absolute chaos.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think people weren't expecting it. There's 4 cars all lined up on the start line still, with no front wings. Oh, Genserino has been disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. There's an AlphaTauri doing donuts. That's Neil Moser. Fair play to him. The safety car is out. Oh my goodness, did you realise that the Mercedes AMG safety car has flashing lights on its rear spoiler?
No.
Neither did I.
Right, social play. Hanging tight stream, we're just going to be resetting the lobby. So I'm going to turn formation lap off, turn qualifying off. Oh, did you get the starting order?
No, I did not, but it should be on your stream.
That is true.
Let me have a look. Did you post your stream?
I can go back and view the things. I'll do that after I've. If I invite you, can you just start inviting people and I'll set the lobby up and the grid. I'll send some out as well. Just send some after I've sent them. James, Jasidian, Kenna, Mank, Marsh, Neil, Pistol, Schnitzy, Team Red. That's 13 people already. If CDM is awake, this is his last chance to join. Almost. And I need King. So always the first race something happens.
Track limits on this game as well, I've noticed. Like, I've run wide and it's literally given me 2 warnings and a penalty, all in the same movement.
The thing is now, we can't actually enforce that everyone must start on the same tyres now either.
No, this is true. We cannot. Pretty much everyone's in here, aren't they?
Almost.
Right. Not far off, are we?
Settings. One thing I did forget. Are we still using reduced safety car or?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I forgot to put that on. What's it under? Rules and flags.
Yeah,
Reduced.
I would. There's a lot of trigger happy safety cars, same as there was last game.
Track select Bahrain. Weekend structure. Good. No. Qualifying off. Starting grid. Custom. Right.
Right, you ready for me to run down the list?
Yes, please.
What do you want, the first or last first?
Give me last first.
Yeah.
No. Give me first. Sorry.
First. Okay. We got James now.
James, move up. Yeah.
Then we got Kenna.
Yeah.
King James.
Yeah.
Pork Pie.
Yeah.
Invader.
Yeah.
Genserino.
Yeah.
Pistol.
Yeah.
Team Red.
Where are you?
I'm here.
There. Yeah.
Jay Seddon.
Huh?
Jay Seddon.
Yeah.
Always grinding.
All right. Calm down. Yeah.
Mank Red Devil.
Yeah.
Mosh.
Yeah.
Neil Mozzer.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Ahmed Shaban.
And then Schnitzy.
And then, oh yeah, because Schnitzy joined late, didn't he?
Confirm changes. Is that everyone?
I think that is everyone.
Let's just double check. So James, Kenna, King James, Hawkpie, Invader, Genserino, Pistol, Team Red, J7, always grinding. Mank, Mosh,
La la
Neil,
la 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 la
Ahmed Shaban,
la 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 la.
Snitsy.
Yep, that looks good to me.
Perfect. And then we want rules and flags. For this one, we'll put formation lap off, just in case. We can put it back on in tier 1 and try it again.
Shall we turn in formation lap off?
Just, yeah, because we already done the formation lap.
Yeah, just let people know.
I think
I'll let them know.
we're ready to go. Yeah. We don't exactly have time to do the thing anyway.
That's absolutely fine. We'll leave it at that. There we go. Looks like we're good to go. Are we good to go?
We are good to go. And let's hope that it works.
That's already up.
So Bahrain start. Right, and then we can get underway again. So we might
Here
actually
we go again.
right. So for the best. I've just clicked something.
Absolutely.
Don't know what I've clicked.
Pete's got a good point. Remember your setup, boys. Sounds like something I would do.
I have 100% done it in the past, so I've completely forgot it. Just have to clear my nose a second.
Looks at the moment like everyone's on medium tyres, so those that did want to start on soft last. Oh no, we got Neil Mozza has changed now. Last minute. Right. And always grinding has as well. So yeah, just the two that are sticking with their soft compound tyres. That'll give them a very, very good jump off the line, but those softs won't last long.
That is true, and we've got the 5 red lights, so that means we are finally away. James looks like he's going to get jumped by Kenna. Kenna had a great start there off the line. Load of position changes going on in the midfield. There's been a crash as a Mercedes round. I think it was only the Mercedes affected in that crash. That Mercedes was Team Red. We got Jen Serino making a move on Invader as well, coming through turn 3. Team Red with a 10-second time penalty already.
Yeah, he cut the whole of the first turn after that incident. And it's 3 wide up for 5th place here. And they managed to sort themselves out.
Oh, there's been a spinner of the AlphaTauri's round. So was that the Haas of Kenna? That was.
It certainly was. Good spot. So it is all change on this first lap.
James Ney, the only driver not to lose a position or gain.
Absolutely. King James, the biggest loser of anyone at the moment, down to 11th place. After that start, not great. Neil Mozza having a brilliant start on those softs. Those softs really working well for him. Up to 6th place already.
Obviously,
to watch.
It's quite hard to do a one-stop round here, soft hard. It's quite hard to do it with the deg and the heat of the track.
Absolutely, as Jen Serino's looking at the back of Invader, he's looking very racy at the moment.
I think he's had a great start, Jen Serena. He's got a few positions. He's gained 3. The biggest one is Ahmed Shaban. He's up 5 positions so far.
We've got Ahmed Shaban, yeah, looking to make a move on Mank Red Devil. Up the inside he goes, and that is a very nice move indeed. But they're still side by side.
Jen Serena just
Shaban
got
has
past.
it. We got Moshe spinning in the background.
Jen Serena just made a great move for second place as well on Invader. Hawkeye trying to get through as well. Invader trying to get that position back as well. He thought about it, but he thought better of it then. It's after all, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But we will be having. There will be a sprint race this season. We don't know which
famous
tracks.
Words said just before as Hawkeye's gone round. He's taken too much curb on the braking zone, and round he goes.
That's going to ruin his race slightly. There's a position change for the for second place. Invader gets back into P2. Genserino just lost out, but he's trying to fight it back around the outside through turn 12. He can't do it, but he's gone for the inside line through turn 13. Gets too much curb, and that's slowed him down slightly. Invader a bit wobbly on exit, but he's managed to keep that position well. We got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3.
Like King James had a spin.
Ahmed Shaban must have disconnected from the session, but he is now back in.
Absolutely.
But James with a 1.8 second gap to P2 already. It's quite a substantial lead to gain in the first 3 laps.
He certainly is. He's stretching his legs there.
Obviously, it's what you want to do at the start. You want to try and build a big enough of a gap as possible that the guy behind doesn't have the DRS.
Interestingly, though, Jay Seddon up in 4th had a very good start. However, he's already got no battery left. He has depleted all of his usage in just 3 laps.
That will affect him when it comes to overtaking and defending. Because obviously we know ERS can be critical when it comes to defending and attacking.
Absolutely, that's definitely going to leave him vulnerable for the rest of this stint, because it's going to be hard for him to recoup all of that. As Ahmed Shaban is looking at the back of Pete into the left-hander, he decides to back out.
I've noticed though, ERS is not as hard to save and recuperate as it was last game. As long as you're in the DRS, it's not that bad.
No, it's not. You are absolutely right there.
But the only problem is staying in that DRS without any ERS. As you can see, his lights flashing down the main straight. As Neil Moser goes right next to him, he's gonna fly past him now with the DRS. Probably burning some of that ERS, and he just said and keeps with him into turn 1 though. Side by side, avoids contact nicely, and just said lucky to keep that position there. Neil,
very brave on the brakes, wasn't he?
He was. I think Neil Moore's softs are starting to play wear slightly, because they only last about 9 laps here. Oh, not even that.
They certainly do, but more importantly, up front, Invader, look at the gap he's now got to James. He has caught him right up.
Just noting, Invader's car looks very unbalanced through the medium speed corners through sector 2 there.
Well, it is a Mercedes.
That is true, but it is equal cars.
But yeah, then it looks like, and he has used all of his battery, whereas you look at James, he's still got 76%, so he's been saving his, whereas Invader has been using all of his. So if James can just hold on, play this savvy, I think Invader's going to drop back off out of his DRS once again soon. As we got a yellow flag, somebody's round, it's Mank Red Devil, and he's lost his wing. And that is that VSC or a full safety car?
I think that's a full safety car. The safety car dot is on the track at the minute.
It certainly is. That is a wholly unnecessary reaction from the FIA. Say so.
I was going to say something about the race directors, but I can't exactly do that because, well, I am the Tier 2 race director. and I believe
Absolutely.
Mosh is.
As King James gets himself a 5-second speeding penalty in the pit lane. You see Mank Red Devil getting a new wing. Few people pitting here. Jay said and Neil Moser, Holt by King James and Mank, obviously, for that new wing. So, yeah, a few people deciding to take advantage of that,
Yeah,
that
Craig.
safety car. I think those who are on softs, yes, he always grinded and stayed out on his softs, and I know he sort of loses a bit if he does pit, but at the same time, I think he's going to lose even further if he stays out.
Yeah, that I'm quite surprised considering we're on reduced and the safety car's out for wing damage.
Yeah, that is way too trigger happy, but that is the way Cody seems to program their safety car.
That was highly unnecessary.
But pretty much everyone other than Mank that has pitted has all pitted for the hard compounded tyres. See,
Bring
and
back
this is a
Messi.
good idea because I think the hards can last to the end from here.
You
But they
think?
will yes, absolutely. They will struggle for tyre temperature on that opening lap, but see, under safety car, it doesn't matter. They can have chance to get those tyres warmed up now. And that's the key thing with those hard tyres. It's that opening lap. But it's all of a sudden it's negated now that it's a safety car.
That is true. Only a few drivers opting for them though. I was expecting more to come into the pit. But interesting to see Mank coming back out on the soft set of tyres. Always grinding, staying out as well on the softs. And everyone else opting not to pit just yet. Tensorino now opts to pit as I say that. So does someone else. Always grinding.
Kieran out, Massey in.
Yeah, late calls to pit, isn't it? Let's see what they could choose to go on tyre wise.
El Shakal's put Kieran out, Massey in. So he wants Massey back as a race director.
Well, I can't say I blame him with decisions like that. That's, you know, even Massey would do a better job.
I'll drop Massey a tweet to see if he'll take charge.
He has now left the FIA,
Come
hasn't
on,
he?
Jack.
So he may be available to come and work for our league. I think it's worth a go.
I wonder if he'll volunteer and do it for free.
Probably not.
He can get more experience, so then he can come back to F1 then when he's got some experience, you know.
Absolutely. If you tell him we're all Max Verstappen fans as well, and we think he's a legend, it may
Then-
happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are some people that will disagree with that in the league, but
If it helps us get Michael Massey on board,
it's worth a
Yeah.
shot.
absolutely.
I tell you what, I'm not a big fan of Mercedes road cars, but that safety car actually looks pretty decent. Take the lights off it.
It does.
Do you reckon they'll sell me one?
You can take the lights off it. If you had one of those, you could literally talk about park anywhere lights. You could park where you like to go and get your fish and chips or your shopping or something.
I wonder on Portalba, the wheels would be gone.
Yeah, everything would be gone, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Right, so the safety car is coming in this lap. A highly unnecessary one, but King James has had a collision with Mank, and Mank has been penalised with a 5-second time penalty for it. But how is James going to handle this restart? Is he going to get a good launch? He's going late. Trying to catch the others off guard. He has no
Come
put his
second,
foot
get a
down.
great start.
And
It looks like
James-
Pistol's got a brilliant restart over Invader. He's going to look to the outside into turn 1.
He's
As
got
he
the
swoops
inside.
round the outside, yeah, and like you say, becomes the inside for turn 2. That's a brilliant move there by Pete.
So Pete now up to P2. James is pulling away slightly, but the delta keeps dropping now and again. Team Red just got past Snitsy with a great move on the inside for turn
Certainly
4
did.
there.
Very committed on the brakes. It was a beautiful move there. But it looks like Snitzy's having a look back at the inside. Is he going to go for it? No, he backs out at the last minute.
So we've got a few of the pitted late, always at the back now, always grinding, goes back on the soft tyres. So he's definitely committing to the 2-stop, a soft, medium. Possible around here?
Yeah, I didn't see why not. Especially with their helpers, safety cars are going to help us. Neil Mozza goes at the inside of Jay Seddon. Doesn't quite make the move stick, but that was a very, very respectful battle there. Both drivers giving each other a lot of room. Nice to see.
Snitsy with a great move on Team Red, getting P5
Do you guys
back.
have a PC league?
Sorry Nathan, we don't have a PC league. We are strictly PS4 and PS5 for now.
However, crossplay is coming to F122 allegedly.
Yeah, crossplay is coming to F122, which means PC players, Xbox players can all join the same league, along with PlayStation players as well.
Oh, Invader goes up the inside of Pete into turn 1. Can he make it stick? No, Pete's got the inside for turn 2.
Sign me up.
But he's going to have the run on him back again into turn 4.
You can always join our Discord, it's in our About section, Nathan, and then when the crossplay comes, we can get you a trial Invader.
Oh, he held it, but I think there was a slight bit of contact between the two drivers out. I couldn't tell from my angle I was looking at.
I'm not going to lie to you, there's so much going on. All the cars are so close together, even before the safety car came out. I don't actually know where to look.
I honestly think these cars were a lot easier to race side by side than they were last year's game. And I think that's making this a lot more interesting. And I gotta say as well, for first league race of the season, this is very clean and tidy. Normally it's an absolute mess, I'm not gonna lie. But there's some very clean and respectful racing going on out there today.
That's what we want to see. We want to see it every race. We didn't quite see it in pre-season.
Oh, having said that, man, Red Devil has just gone into the back of Neil Mozza and tipped them both into a spin there. Neil Mozza's come off worse.
Is that going to cause an unnecessary safety car? No, it's not.
I was only riding on board with Neil, but he suddenly got a swift tap in the back by the Ferrari.
That is a shame for Neil. We'll probably see it in the incident report later.
Let's just see McLaren of Ahmed Shaban taking a bit of an excursion off the racetrack there. Gets away with it. Nothing lost, nothing gained. We have Mank around in the first sector as well.
Was that contact? I've seen 3 cars around him at the same time that yellow flag came out, so I don't know if that was contact again or not. But something certainly happened.
Absolutely.
As Ahmed Shaban looks to try and make a move on Snitsy, coming just before turn 10, turn 9 it was.
I think Snitsy's got the pace on Pete here, but he can't find a way past. And Ahmed Shaban is closing up to the back of these two. Obviously Snitsy's got no battery left, Pete's got loads, so's Ahmed Shaban. And it's bringing them all very close together.
This fighting though is definitely helping James out in front. He's now got a 2-second gap. So maybe they want to, even though they're not on the same team, maybe they want to start working together to try and close the gap and then start fighting again.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's getting very, very spicy for P2 here. And Shaban gets a bad drive off for the last turn. All DRS. All got DRS now because it is enabled. But it's not that powerful in this game.
The only one that doesn't is Pistol Racing at the minute, who is sitting too far back from James to actually get DRS. Gap is closing.
Caught up with James, yeah.
I think his exit on the last corner managed to help a bit.
Absolutely. Oh, Snitsy nearly runs in the back of Pete there.
Snitsy trying to make a Lando Norris-esque move through that corner.
That's not going to work in a Williams.
Sadly, only McLarens can do that sort of move.
Oh, it's getting a little bit airy. I think Snitsy lost the back a little bit and he'll concertina it up. And Snitsy's going around the outside of Pete into the hairpin. That's a very brave move again there.
He's lucky not to get beached on the curb as well. He took quite a lot of it just before the start of the turning point for turn 10. So he's very lucky there. Just watching the back of Invader. He's quite close now to the back of Kenner. He's falling back slightly though through turn 11. But another yellow flag in sector 2. Someone's just dropped it and under acceleration there. You've got to be very careful. It's very easy to slip there.
Chaban looks like he's making a move on Snitsy.
Very late on the brakes.
last corner.
A decent move, but he didn't get the exit he kind of wanted. Snitsy now gonna look like
gonna be in trouble here.
Snitsy looks like he's sliding right through, but Amateur Ban has closed the door on him, and still going side by side with Pistol here. As Kenner goes on the inside. Ooh, Snitsy loses the rear end there slightly. So far, it's great racing from the Tier 2 guys at the minute. As I think Marcus has died, he must have looked at Wales again.
No, I've moved to Bridgewater, so I don't have to look at Wales anymore.
What a shame. Wales is such a nice place. Oh, Invader has a little drift through turn 10 as he mounts the curb, loses it. Very easy to get beached on the curbs in this game. You can also get beached in gravel, so you've got to watch out for the gravel traps as well.
You certainly can.
It kind of happened to me in one of the practice races I was doing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got a snap of oversteer, corrected it, and the car spun the other way and got stuck in the gravel. Actually, it wasn't even a thing. It was a trial. It was a 5-lapper. The Pistol Racing now dropped 3 seconds from the lead.
Kenner's in the pits.
So Kenner's going to be putting them hard tyres on, I believe.
Amateur Man is all over the back of Pete here. Can he make a move into turn 4? Into the middle sector they go. He's all over the back of Pete, but he just cannot find a way through. Is he going to look at the inside? No, he's going to back off there. That would have been a very desperate move. Very brave.
Snitsy takes it a little bit off track.
Oh, what a drive! Out the corner. Ahmed Shaban flies past Pete. That was a beautiful traction zone, that was.
My race direction is just as bad as it is in Monaco. Pistol Race is going to be wanting to get that position back. He might be struggling with the tyres he's got on at the minute. Starting to wear slightly. Around lap 13-14 is where you want to pit for the optimum tyre wear, I reckon, if you're doing a medium hard. Mosh opted in to pit for the soft tyres though. Kenner did go on the hards. Mank still on them softs he was set during the safety car. And Pistol got really close to the back of Amateur Man, almost went into the back, but he now has the outside line for turn 1. And is he going to make the mistake, or can Amateur Man get it back into turn 3?
Amateur Man's going to have the DRS.
He will, he's got it. Might look for the opportunity on the outside through turn 4 by the looks of it. He can't make it work. He does get a good drive by the looks of it. Thought about switching it back to the other side. Didn't manage to make it work. He thought better of it. Probably the better choice there, and just wait for the next DRS straight.
But Pete is having to use a lot of his DRS to defend this.
We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. There is a Merc around.
Oh,
Obviously,
he's got him. Ahmed Shavana has just out traction Pete. But Pete's going to get DRS back. But I think, yeah, Pete's really struggling on the traction zone, so getting used, traction's really difficult in this game, and I think Pete's struggling to get to grips with it by the looks of it.
That is true.
Snitzy's just got past him as well. Although Pete's fighting back, he's got the inside line and the right hander, and I think he's got it. Well done. Snitsy gets himself a time penalty as well, running a bit wide.
There's a few time penalties out there at the minute. I think if we have a look at them, we got Snitsy on 3. We got Team Red for that corner cut at the start on 10 seconds. We got Hawkpie on 3. We got King James, but it looks like Always Grinding and 5 seconds, as James Ney has just dropped out of the lead. He's just come into the pits. He's going to fit the hard tyres on, and it looks like he's going to try it's the undercut, right? You only pit first.
This is getting spicy, this battle for second. Oh, it's going to be 3 wide.
Into turn 4. This is very close racing from these 3. This is I think this is one of the
beautiful.
I think this is one of the best battles I've seen, to be honest.
Absolutely fantastic to watch. As Mosh goes and sets fastest lap on those fresh softs.
He might, if he's lucky, he might get that point for the fastest lap.
Needs to get in the top 10 to get it. Snitzy's having a look at Pete. I've only just noticed James has gone in the pits. Our race leader has pitted for hards. We missed all of that.
But I did give it a mention, don't worry.
Oh, you did? I didn't even notice you gave it a mention. I was too focused on this battle.
It is a great battle, and it was for second place, but now that James is pitted, it is for the lead. And James now has to negotiate some traffic to try and get that P1 back from Pete. Question is, when is Pete going to dive into the pits? Amateur Band's diving into the pits. The battle for the lead is now just between Snitsy and Pistol. Team Red further down the road, but he has got a 2-second gap to Snitsy that he's going to have to close if he wants to join in this battle.
Oh, Snitsy goes in deep, nearly runs into the back of Pete then. Had to bail out.
It was a good job that he did bail out. That would have been not a great accident to watch. No, he's gonna.
It's going to be close between James and Ahmed Chavan. I think James has got it. Yeah, James has got it, but obviously those hard tyres are going to be difficult to warm up.
Looks like
I think he could be under pressure from Kenner here. He swoops around the outside. Beautiful.
Right, Nathan has called Jasedin Seddon, so I'm guessing we can call him Seddon, and J is like his first initial or something. So
I'd like to think so.
So we can. I think we should just call him Seddon. He's having a good race, considering I think he's had. I think this is his first race actually. For us. He's having a good race so far in the top 4.
It is.
So I think Always Grinding and Seddon are currently the debutants. We are missing 5 drivers, but we do have a full grid, so hopefully next week everyone's there.
Absolutely, as Snitsy and Pistol are about to battle it out once again, going down the start-finish straight.
Snitsy looking for the inside line into turn 1. That might offset him as he has the outside for turn 2 and 3. Well, you have the inside for turn 3, sorry. But he does get the move done.
Neither's got DRS. Oh, Pete goes up the inside. That's a lovely late move on the brakes.
Snitsy tried
Nathan
the switch
in the
back.
chat, wearing the correct team colors.
Snitsy very respectful, giving Pete room there.
So far, it's a great battle.
He gives Pete a nudge.
This is exciting to watch from both drivers. This is probably the best racing that I've seen on this game so far, to be honest. Now Snitsy's going to saw past him with the DRS, but Pete's going to keep it close behind. Team Red is catching slowly and joining the battle for P1.
All for McLaren Callum.
He's waiting for these two to end up in a big collision in the wall, and he's going to sail on through, but I don't think that's going to happen. The way these two have been racing, they've been giving each other brilliant respect.
We love to see it in the league.
We
Respectful,
absolutely do.
respectful, clean racing, all the time.
Yes, my guy. Emoji orange square.
Callum and Nathan are currently flirting about in the chat as well.
They're flirting.
Well, they're on about McLaren, and Nathan in the chat wearing the correct team colours, and then Nathan said all for McLaren, and then Callum said, yes, my guy. If he carries on, I'm going to have to tell him to get a room.
Anyone that likes McLaren is my best friend.
Hey, McLaren's the GOAT team. I couldn't think of the word then. So far the field is starting to separate slightly, but this battle for the lead still continues. Hawkeye closing in slowly in that Alfa Romeo as well, looking to get into that battle. We could have a 4-car battle for the lead. Hawkeye's tyres are 12 laps old. Do you still reckon he can get to the end on them tyres, or do you reckon he's going to have to pit again?
I think he'll be alright. I think he'll make him last. They will be screaming for mercy at the end, but I think these hard tyres are very, very good tyres.
Yeah, I kind of want to see the tyre wear graphic come up so we can see what kind of tyre wear he's got, but at the minute we can't, but we've got this battle to replace that tyre wear graph anyway.
Certainly do. Snitsy and Pete get ready to battle it out once again. Team Red has dropped back, but he's gone into the pits, so he's decided to call it a day on those tyres. Not many people left to pit. We've got Pete and Snitsy still battling now, but I think they're costing each other time here with this battling, and I think it's handing the advantage to James.
Do you think they're going to try medium soft? Because they've gone 17 laps on these mediums. I wouldn't have gone 17 laps on them.
Yeah, I think you need to judge it with safety cars right as well. This is the thing. And it's all about this tyre warm-up. It's so hard to warm the tyres up. I think the overcut can work really well. So staying out late is a good suggestion.
James pitted earlier from the lead. He's struggling to make some positions back. He's still in P8 at the minute.
Yeah, but he's making good progress as Snitsy gets a great drive off that corner. Side by side, Pete's giving in the big squeeze out to the inside, making him run the slowest corner, and there's contact with Snitsy's round.
Pete wasn't leaving much room there. And
yeah,
Pistol has lost a few positions with that as well. Snitsy worst off though, but it was going so good up until then.
My initial thought of that looked like a racing incident.
Did you want to
Pete
join
didn't
us,
give him much
Kieran?
room, but he did give him a car's width. But the angle that Snitsy was going in, it was always going to be a closing gap. So I'd have to watch it on a replay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see their point of views if it turns up in the incident report later on.
Absolutely, as Snitsy goes round once again, and that unfortunately has wrecked his race somewhat.
Hawkeye and Genserino, both teammates, are fighting for the lead now. Both want to win this race. They've got 7 behind. Hawkeye does have a time penalty.
Contact.
A little bit of a argy-bargy there from the Alfa Romeo drivers as Genserino's gone round. Hawkeye was affected by that as well, going very slowly. That's given Seddon the lead of the Grand Prix so far. He could be on for a win in his first race right now. He's got no time penalties. He's got a Hawkeye defending from Pistol.
Get in Seddon.
Callum, maybe I did, but only if Marcus can join as well.
What was that for?
The flirting with McLaren kind of stuff in the chat.
Absolutely. Anything to do with McLaren, I'm up for a bit of a flirt.
Have you subscribed to McLaren Plus?
No.
You should. You can get a discount on the clothes, teamwear and stuff.
So you got to pay to get a discount?
No, it's free.
It's free?
Yeah, I've got McLaren Plus. It's free.
How did I not know it? Well, is it an app?
No, if you go onto the McLaren website, you can sign up for McLaren Plus via that.
Get it.
I'm going to have a look in a bit.
It's great. It's not much of a discount,
You can get an app.
There is the McLaren app as well. That gives you updates in it. You can link your McLaren store app account to the McLaren Plus, and you can link the app as well. So then you can like sign up for like competitions and stuff. It's
So,
great.
I mean, how this race is playing out, going back to the race in hand, we've got Pete's obviously got a pit, so he's going to go tumbling down the field. You've got Jason, Hawk Pie, Genserino, King James and Neil Mozart all on very,
Gotta
very
get
old
the
hard.
Lando merch.
They could go to the end of the race, but they're going to be pretty knackered.
Oh, 100%. And at the minute, what would you say the pit time? 18, 20 seconds?
I would say so, yeah. And then you've got, in 7th, you've got James, who's led most of this race. On brand new, or fairly fresh, hard tyres. He's going to be making big inroads on these drivers on old hards. But it's a long way. A lot of time he's got to make up in 9 laps, and I don't think he's going to do it. I think pitting under the safety car, warming up those hards nice and early, running them long, seems to be the way to go in this particular race. Obviously, had it been for another safety car now, it's going to bring James right in that fight, and he's going to be the danger man.
That is true. As we got Pistol diving into the pits now to get rid of these medium tyres. He's going to put the he's going to check the softs on as well. So he is doing a medium soft. Very slow getting released out of the pit though. I don't know if there was pit errors in online races, or was it just the career mode races?
I don't know.
So I know your pit crew can make mistakes now, can't they?
They can, you're right.
So
It should be a thing to turn it off, I would have thought, and online if they have it. Because they need it for like the esports, don't they? To make it fair.
yeah, that's true. Although it does make it kind of interesting. Will your pit crew make an error or whatnot? But at the minute, the top puncher is separated by a second. So the field is separating slightly now. We got King James on the back of Genserino at the minute. He's catching slowly. His tyres are going to be screaming at the end of this race. Might be one in a safety car if one does churn up.
Absolutely, I think a safety car would really help James right now. He needs it.
He is making good progress though. He has got 4 seconds to catch up P5, but even P6 is still a good hand of points going into the next round. It is a 22 race calendar season, so there's plenty of time to make up points as Team Red goes for a pretty easy move on the inside of James, but James coming back to turn 1. No, he thinks better of it. Smart move from James there. He's got DRS up onto the next straight, so he can keep up with Team Red via the DRS. He has fallen back nearly a second apparently though. He is 9/10 behind. Although he looks a lot closer than that. King James still trying to get the position of Genserino for the final podium position. He has got that time penalty, so he needs to get past now, and he needs to create a nice gap.
Certainly does. Hawkeye is in DRS range of J7. He's got that penalty, but hopefully if he can just get that DRS detection point in a minute.
He's
he'll be
good.
alright.
He's going to have to clear 3 seconds on Sen at the most to actually get the top step of the podium tonight.
Certainly is. I think J7's in a very strong position to win this race at the moment.
He is. He's currently got, well, he's keeps fluctuating between a second and just under a second. So he's got a good position. Hawkeye's ERS light is flashing. Jason doesn't have much, but he looks like he's got the pace to just keep ahead and keep Hawkeye far enough behind that he can't make a move. We've only got a few laps remaining of this Bahrain Grand Prix, and well, it's been an incredible race so far.
Oh, it's been amazing to watch. I've really enjoyed watching it.
And Pistol Racing goes and gets himself his first time penalty of the night with a 3 seconds. He's pushing that Red Bull as hard as he can to try and gain some positions. He doesn't want to push too hard though, them softs are not going to last very long and he will start falling off before the end. Amateur Ban as well, trying to make some moves back up into the well, trying to get to the top 5. It's likely he's got time to do it, but not much time. Again, Hawkeye very close to Jay Seddon now.
Yeah, he's in there. He's gonna get DRS this time round. Both have very, very little battery left.
And Hawkeye's got a 2-second gap to his teammate. If he wants to get them 18 points, he's got to make it 3 seconds. So he's got to make use of this DRS because his ERS is non-existent at the minute.
Absolutely, he needs to save it and use it at the right areas. Has he got the speed to get past? And then secondly, has he got the speed to break that DRS and disappear up the road? If he has, he's got a good chance of winning the opening round of Tier 2.
He's only got a few laps to manage that though, so if he's gonna do it, he's gonna have to do his best now. What would you do really if you're in Alfa Romeo's position now? You got one driver with a 3-second time penalty with a shot of winning, or you've got one with no time penalty, only a couple of seconds behind.
Oh, it's every man for himself though. Who cares about the constructors? It's all about the drivers.
You make a good point there.
There's no team games here.
Although, you know, it is nice to still win something, especially when you're probably not going to win the drivers' championship, just like me. You know, I feel good sitting in the constructors' championship spot.
There's always the wooden spoon.
I've only done it twice, and they were all flukes. Well,
again, here we go. Hawkeye's next big opportunity. Can he get close enough to J7 this time? He is quite a way back. He's got a good drive. J7 looks like he's got strong aero to keep him ahead. That DRS isn't that powerful, and Hawkeye just simply does not have enough batteries, using it too much on the lap, and just doesn't have it to sail past J7 down that straight.
Just going to quickly go to my settings a sec. I do apologise about this. I've just realised stuff.
Very specific.
It was.
As Mosh gets himself a 3-second time penalty. It's very close to the back of Mank, so it could make a difference in the end. Few penalties up and down the board. Team Red got the most. He's got 10 seconds worth of penalties, and that's going to see him tumbling down the order. Obviously, we may have a few penalties that go to the steward's inquiry. We don't know yet, but most seem to be track limits warnings and corner cutting.
I think there was one or two speeding in the pit lane, as well as we got a yellow flag in sector 1. That would be Mank. I think he's just gone for a little spin again, to be honest.
I do agree. I think he has.
And I might go for a quick dip in the sea after we completed the Tier 1 race, because it is absolutely boiling outside.
Oh, Hawkeye's got himself another time penalty.
That's 6 seconds now. That's going to affect
that
him massively.
Surely it now.
That's got to be him off the podium now, because I don't know.
Well, King James has 5 seconds worth of penalties, and unless... I think that was a speeding in the pit lane, wasn't it? So he can't really argue with it. Unless he takes it to steward's inquiry.
But then he's got a... But then, basically, that's pretty much guilty until proven not. Because we know sometimes the game does like to spit out a few... There was a car that just went flying into a wall. I'm pretty sure it was a McLaren of Amateur Ban.
It was. It certainly was. That was a good spot, though.
It was literally just a split second. I just see an orange car flying off track. It was kind of like a Nikita Mazepin thing.
And he has DNF'd as well, on the straight. What has happened there to Ahmed Shaban?
I think that's an intentional retirement there.
Looks like his car's pulled off to one side.
His car has now disappeared, so
I would say he's retired on track looking at that, which obviously is not allowed in the league. But again, we'll have to see what the stewards make of that after the race, when they got all the replay cameras available to them.
let's have a look, shall we? What? Retirement on track. So that he's lucky that it didn't have much of an effect on the race. If that had caused the safety car, it's a maximum of 5 penalty points applied.
Absolutely. So I'm looking at James here. He's had a strong race, and you could arguably say he's deserved to win. He's been out front most of the race. It's this safety car that's really screwed with his strategy. Stayed out as Neil Moser nearly goes back in the team red, and he's nearly spun it. But James does go on through. But if you look, he's got no time penalties. You got Team Red, King James, all got time penalties ahead of him. I think Hawkeye's a bit too far up the road with his time penalty, unless he gets another, and James makes quite a bit of inroad. But at least he's going to salvage something from this race, James. I think he'll be disappointed not to walk away without the win here tonight, I must admit.
Yeah, it's probably not the most ideal race for the guy, but it's not the worst race you could have had, and there's plenty of stuff to take home and improve on for himself.
Absolutely. It's a long season.
It is. There's 22 races, full of difficult tracks, easy tracks, hard tracks. I mean, Monaco's in the calendar, so that's going to be a pretty difficult track for some of these drivers.
Piece of cake. 1-0-0 wings, mate.
I'm glad no one... I hope no one mentions that voice crack. That was quite embarrassing. But Kenna's trying to close back up on James. It's going to be interesting to see if he can catch up and fight him in the remaining lap. 2 laps, sorry. We are on lap 28, not lap 29.
We certainly are. Hawkeye's very close to the back of J7, but again, just seems to be a bit of a stalemate. He's just not saving his battery. And so he's unable to make that move.
Interesting to note as well, if Ahmed Shaban did have a major effect on this race, the maximum penalty would have been 5 points, and our penalty point system is a driver that receives 5 points in 3 months period will receive a quali ban. So you would have got a quali ban for the next race if it was a major effect, which it wasn't, luckily for him. And then it only takes 3 more points after that to get a race ban. And then once you get to 11, you lose your seat. But that's only in a 3 months period, so you got to get 11 points in 3 months.
I think you're doing pretty well to get to that point.
Yeah, I've seen it happen once, but that was it.
Oh, Gentorino's closed right up to the back of these guys, isn't he?
He wants that win, but he's only got 15 corners
Come on, Seddon.
To do it.
Last lap.
And Jason, he's had a great debut in the Haas in the OBF1 league. He's currently got only a couple of corners to negotiate, and he has won the Bahrain Grand Prix. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of these guys can take it off him. They've only got a couple of corners to do it, so it's not very likely that they will. But anything is possible, especially in league racing.
Absolutely, and just having a look through the race director as well, Jay Seddon doesn't have he has one single track limits warning to his name. So he has been keeping it in those limits all race long. Very, very strong race by him. And that's going to be a well-deserved win if he can get to this finish line. Just needs to keep it nice and neat and tidy now.
And he looks like he's doing a pretty decent job at doing it. Jen Serino now is on the back of his teammate. He doesn't need to overtake his teammate because he's already got P2 net. Even though he doesn't have it on track, he will have it via the penalty points not penalty points, just the penalties that Hawkeye has currently. But Jen Serino comes across the line and he has won OBF1 Tier 2 opening round at Bahrain.
Go on, Bobby.
It was a great race from him. Jen Serino comes across P2. Hawkeye finishes P3 and manages to stay on the podium considering he had 6 seconds worth of time penalties. P4 is King James. P5 is James Ney. Kenna P6. Neil Mozza P7. Team Red P8. Pistol Racing after an extraordinary battle with Snitsy only finishes P9. Always Grinding is in P10. Snitsy finishes P11 after a great opening stint. Invader P12. Mosh P13. Mank P14. And Ahmed Shaban is our only DNF.
What a race. What a great opening race for Tier 2. That was brilliant. They had some fantastic racing there between so many drivers. I really enjoyed that one.
It was a great
well
race.
Done to every driver who took part in that. I think you've all driven amazingly well. A new game is hard to get used to, but they've done brilliantly.
They have. They've certainly got a hang of this handling model. And you can see Tier 2 again in action next Wednesday. We will be at the Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix around Jeddah. But if you want to stick with us, we'll be live again in roughly 10 to 15 minutes for the Tier 1 race around the same track. Will it be as interesting as this one? Based on this, probably will. But from now, we'll see you guys next week. Do you want to say bye?
Bye!